Hello. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Matcha.
We had a great Black Friday sale.
We did. Thank you very much.
Still getting those orders out.
Yeah, definitely. So what we'd like to talk about, or maybe what I'd like to get out of Rebecca today, in just understanding a little bit about what's been happening in our culture the last 2 or 3 decades with the rise of the protein powder. Because in the past, protein powder was associated with bodybuilders. But in the last 2 decades, especially maybe the last 5 years, there's been a huge rise in mainstream U.S. with taking protein powders. So I'd like to understand a little bit more about what's happening and what happens to our body that we may not have understood.
Right. Well, I think what a lot of people are realizing over the last couple decades, especially as nutritionists, is no matter how healthy you eat and no matter how much organic produce you eat and local, you're still not getting enough minerals and nutrient-dense foods. Your body is still deprived. So I think a lot of people have been on a search, you know, finding, okay, how do I add things to my diet that's not a supplement and an extract and a pill, but, you know, to get all the nutrients so that our bodies are running efficiently, you know, and regenerating itself. So I think that kind of is like a fuel behind it, you know?
Well, I think maybe to understand the need for protein in the body, it would be interesting because what we've seen happening even for ourselves over the last 30 years is we went away from an animal-based diet into more of a vegan or vegetarian, and so that created certain complications that at the onset we didn't understand because all of a sudden we weren't getting the protein in our diet because you can't eat enough veggies to get really what the body needs. And so what happens is the body begins to crave certain things, and we don't even realize what's happening as that unfolds. So
well, I've met so many, I've worked with a lot of vegan and vegetarian clients who, you know, they eat clean, but they still become very unhealthy and unbalanced because what happens is they start replacing it with a lot of carbs, a lot of rice and pasta, you know, just thinking, okay, let me just cut out the meat. And then it throws you off because what happens is when you don't eat enough protein and complete protein, your body and your brain will start craving sugar.
Interesting.
And sometimes you don't even realize that, but that's what I've noticed. And, you know, so they're like, what's going on?
So that explains that if your diet isn't balanced with enough protein, that all of a sudden you find yourself craving Dunkin' Donuts.
Right, exactly. That's why having like some good protein and fat in the morning.
Well, I've noticed for myself in the last month or so, really busy. You would think I was drinking my protein meal. I didn't for a few weeks very regularly. And so all of a sudden what happened? I started craving a donut. And I thought, what is this? I haven't had donuts
I remember you talking about donuts.
30 years. So I actually snuck over to Whole Foods and bought a donut. And then I said, you know what? I got to understand what's happening with my body. And I realized, you know.
Well, and it's also about, you know, what a lot of people have done is they've steered away from like a high animal protein diet. So it's kind of like, okay, what is the middle ground? What is the right balance? And yes, you know, you can eat some good quality meats. That's fine. Everybody is different. But also it's finding something that's absorbable, that's a good quality and that your body can break down and actually handle, you know, and there's a lot of protein out there. I mean, protein powder has become the thing. Every company has their protein powder, but a lot of it is just an extract. And okay, you know, your body's like, okay, what do I do with just this huge surge of 25 grams of protein that's isolate and extract and soy, whatever, you know, and that's it. That's not a complete. When you eat something in nature, it doesn't just give you, hey, here, I'm 25 grams of protein, that's it. No, it comes with fiber and fats and all the other nutrients and minerals. It's not, you know, just this single little 25 gram of protein animal bouncing around, you know? So
the point, of course we haven't really got to, is the value of this matcha vegan meal really takes it. Well, it takes it another step above the standard protein meal that just has a bunch of isolated proteins, you know, and not necessarily great, along with sugars and other stuff they put in it. And you've got this bulky thing, and the body has a hard time digesting it. There's whey protein, all kinds of things.
That's the key. I mean, when I was 19 and I first started studying, you know, I had some stomach issues, digestive sensitivities, and so that's what drove me to really study and learn. And you know, I realized that the core is your gut health. And if you're not digesting and absorbing and, you know, breaking things down here before it goes out throughout the rest of your body, it becomes toxic and acidic, and you don't get the nutrition from it.
And that's one of the reasons this vegan protein meal that we have is so valuable.
Yeah.
Not only the matcha, which
Right.
helps to enhance the metabolism and the body digestive processes, but the Sacha inchi, which is one of our primary proteins,
It's
is a whole food.
and
means
that's
the body
rare.
Can use it.
That is rare,
Yeah.
and that's like one of the few protein sources I recommend to little kids and elderly people going, who have cancer, because it's all food and it has the fats. Your best proteins digest when they have good fats.
Yep.
You need that to help release it. Also, the little bit of carbohydrates that are in the protein meal, which are more of a complex carbohydrate, anytime you have carbohydrates, you want to mix it with fat, because the fat helps to slow down the release of the sugar into your bloodstream. And so it's treated completely different. It's not like you're sitting there eating a bowl of rice, or eating some honey or something like that. It actually releases it very, very slowly. So that's key. Fat with your protein, fat with your carbs. So you've got this matcha vegan, gluten-free protein meal that is the perfect balance and combination of everything. It's a synergistic blend of your protein, and you've got your greens from your veggies, and so it's...
Well, in a real sense, we're at the crest of a wave. Not only a wave of the matcha and the awareness of matcha, but also health and energy in America. And that is going to
Everybody
go hand
needs
in
it.
hand with the need for a good protein source.
Right.
So this whole thing of having a protein shake or drink is going to become even more viable and more of a trend setting like matcha is becoming.
Right. And when you take something, it shouldn't weigh you down. It should give you energy. And the thing is it takes more energy from the body to digest heavy, rich, toxic foods than it does almost anything else in your body, than healing even. So when you have a food that is whole and raw and easy to digest, and you've got the matcha, which helps with the digestion, your body is not trying to sit there and figuring out what to do with this protein meal in my stomach. Instead, it uses it instantly and goes throughout your whole body. So you get the energy.
And I think what we're beginning to realize, everyone needs a good protein shake.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone does. If someone says, "Oh, I don't need that," I don't think they understand the body's not getting the balance.
Well, and even if you're vegan, you can't eat nuts all day. You'll be all bloated. And Sacha inchi is a complete protein, and that's really hard to find in nature. The Sacha inchi and the chlorella algae, those two alone, I mean, you could practically live on those. So, and that's what this product is when we create something, whether it's the bar or the meal or the veggie burger, it's like, okay, what could I live on? We're all very busy. We need something to sustain all the systems in our body. So.
And Dunkin' Donuts doesn't do it.
No. Or for horses.
Yeah, right. So there's one other thing too. There has been a huge trend in the NFL and in the sports arena towards not a meat diet.
It's becoming more
popular.
Of a
vegan vegetarian.
Yeah, and it's hard to find the protein.
Yeah, and so can you elaborate? Because I think that's really an interesting trend. People look at these massive NFL blockers and they say, "Wow, you must eat lots of meat." And you talk to the guy who says, "No, I'm a vegetarian." Or I'm a vegan vegetarian. So, well, how is that possible?
Yeah. Well, and that's why it comes down to absorption. Like I've said, I've seen people who are malnourished and eat tons of food and they're so skinny, but it's because their gut is not absorbing the nutrients. So they're underweight. So if you're putting, products in your body that you can absorb, then you're going to be able to build the muscle, like if you're a linebacker, whatever it is you need to do, but you have to put the right products in your body.
You do.
And, just because somebody could eat like half a cow, doesn't mean that you're going to put on all this muscle, because if you can't break it down and absorb it all. But if you put a protein in your body that you can 100% absorb, then you can build the muscles you need.
Well, and what's interesting too is the more you eat healthy and the more your whole dynamic change as far as your view of life, the greater the glow that you carry, really.
Matcha glow?
Yeah, the matcha glow, the protein glow. I tell you.
Matcha's good for your skin.
Yeah. Well, now that would be a great one.
That's another one.
Yeah. The matcha mud pack. Just wait. We haven't actually put that product together, but we did create it a few years ago.
We did. Coconut oil and matcha.
And a few other proprietary ingredients that we can't really disclose right now. But the end result is we definitely had that matcha look.
But by drinking it,
We drank it.
reflects your skin too.
But we didn't take it off our face and drink it. We made a separate mud pack for the face.
You just kind of go like this. You know?
And it was interesting. After taking it all off, we had a green glow, didn't we?
We did.
Well, I think that's it for tonight.
Yes, we'll be doing more. We're going to do some recipes and how
Yeah.
to use the meal, the matcha, cook with it, do some fun stuff.
Next week we want to really have
Yeah.
some fun. Mom will be with Rebecca, and
She'll be
we'll
right
just
here.
do some very off the wall.
So let us know if you have any
approaches.
requests.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Any food type things, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll have fun.
Totally.
So,
And we'll give you an update next week on the horse that's taking the matcha. Right now we don't have any feedback, but it'll be coming. All right.
oh, Dad. Okay. Happy
you.
holidays.
Bye-bye now.
Bye. We were good. We were fun.
The last email I got from the horse, he said he wasn't ready.